Compared to us, it's easy to see that Japanese people have a smaller physique. There's no need to measure height or weight. To understand if this was the case in the past as well, we need to refer to historical records, of which there are quite a few. During the late 16th century Imjin War, Korean scouts were surprised to find that Japanese soldiers had smaller physiques and consumed only a third of the food that Korean soldiers did. This is something even the Japanese acknowledge. In the 18th century, a political treatise by Soban Heisei stated that Koreans had larger physiques, were stronger, and ate twice as much as the Japanese. During the Edo period, the average height of Japanese men was about 150 centimeters, while women were around 140 centimeters. In comparison, Koreans were about 6 centimeters taller. Even Westerners of the time noted these differences. Isabella Bird Bishop, who visited Korea in 1894, wrote in her bestseller about Korea and Japan that Koreans were better looking and had much larger physiques compared to the Japanese, with Korean porters typically carrying loads of 45 kilograms. Recent studies show similar trends. According to a 2016 study by Imperial College London, which examined the average height of men and women in 200 countries from 1914 to 2014, Korean men grew from an average height of 159.8 centimeters to 174.2 centimeters, a growth of 15.1 centimeters, making them the third fastest growing in the world, moving up from 151st to 51st in global rankings. Korean men are now the tallest in Asia. Korean women grew even more significantly, from 142.2 centimeters to 162.3 centimeters, a growth of 20.1 centimeters, making them the fastest growing in the world, moving from 196th to 55th place. In comparison, Japanese men grew from 156.1 centimeters to 170.8 centimeters, moving from 187th to 102nd place, still below average. Japanese women grew from 142.3 centimeters to 158.5 centimeters, moving from 195th to 112th place. Historically, except during periods of extreme nutritional deficiency like the later years of Japanese occupation in the Korean War, Koreans have always been taller and heavier than Japanese. Now let's look at why Japanese people generally have smaller physiques. First, we can't ignore racial factors. According to Bergman's rule, people and animals in colder climates tend to be larger, as seen in northern countries like Norway. This is because larger bodies are better at retaining heat in cold climates. Conversely, in warmer regions, smaller bodies are advantageous, leading to the evolution of genetic traits suitable for these environments. As a result, as northern races migrated south to Korea and Japan, those who remained in Japan, an island nation, retained more southern genetic traits, resulting in smaller physiques. Additionally, the long-standing prohibition on meat consumption in Japan played a significant role. For 1,200 years, starting from Emperor Tenmu's decree in 675 AD under Buddhist influence, the Japanese were prohibited from eating meat until the Meiji Restoration in 1868. Although they ate fish, fish couldn't replace the essential animal protein found in meat. The prohibition also led to weaker jaw muscles and more crooked teeth due to the consumption of soft foods. Some Japanese women even deliberately got cosmetic surgery to create crooked teeth, considering it cute. During the Meiji Restoration, Japanese leaders were shocked by the physical stature of Westerners and promoted meat consumption to address this. Emperor Meiji himself introduced dishes like sukiyaki and shabu-shabu, using thinly sliced meat cooked with familiar ingredients like soy sauce and miso to make the meat more palatable. Tonkatsu was also developed using breadcrumbs to disguise the meat and make it more acceptable. Despite these efforts, Japanese people generally maintained smaller physiques due to their historical diet. The high carbohydrate diet, rich in sweet and salty foods, also contributed to the smaller stature. Sweet foods make people eat less, leading to insufficient nutritional intake. High sodium intake, common in Japanese diets, also inhibits growth by causing calcium loss. Moreover, the diet contributed to a high prevalence of diabetes, with over 20 million Japanese affected. Other factors include cultural practices like sitting on the floor and environmental factors like coastal living, but these are less significant. In summary, three main factors contribute to the smaller stature of Japanese people: genetic predisposition, long-term meat prohibition leading to protein deficiency, and a high-carbohydrate diet that hinders growth. Lastly, there's a common misconception about the kanji for wa in Japan's old name, wakoku. Many think it means small or dwarf, but in fact, it refers to harmo.